Hey everybody, welcome. We apologize for being a few minutes late. Welcome to Thoughts Count Anywhere, coming to you live from Las Vegas, Nevada. Power Play Sports and Collectibles right here in the heart of Las Vegas at the Boulevard Mall. And next to me, the rest of the four Thoughtsmen. Who we got, gentlemen? Introduce yourselves to the panel.
I am the one and only Johnny Rock.
This is Matt.
Scott Hosey, owner of Power Play Sports Cards, former board of director member of the CAC.
There you go. How did that all fit on your business card, Scott?
It doesn't, though. It's two-sided.
Oh, I got you.
Looks like it goes on the back.
Gotcha. We apologize for a little delayed start. We had a little Facebook issue tonight. For some reason, Facebook is not running properly, which is not good for us. But Plan B is always good, which means we've gone down to another piece of equipment because laptops are not working. So thank God for iPads and notebooks because that's what we were working on tonight. We appreciate you joining in. Man, have we got a loaded show, guys, tonight? I mean, we have so much going on. You guys ready to rock and roll?
Yeah.
Okay, so what do you say we get started? I hear voices. Where's the obvious spot we're going to start with, guys? Matt, why don't you kick us off?
I think what everybody's talking about right now is Saudi Arabia. The travel issues they were having.
I was going to say, they're not talking about it for vacation destinations, are they?
No, the main reason they're talking about it is supposed mechanical issues with the plane. But according to some people on the roster, it was like a kidnapping plot because the Prince of Saudi Arabia owed Vince McMahon about $60 million. So Vince turned the feed off in Saudi Arabia, which caused like a rift between the two. So maybe the Prince was trying to hold up the roster getting out of there.
Well, then again, is it going to work? Because what ended up happening the other day, I mean, we'll get to that in a little bit, but so much is coming that was going on from this, right, Johnny?
I honestly don't think it's a work at all. It's basically turned into, into a measuring contest between Vince and the Saudi Prince, and I feel like the town's paying the price for it.
Scott, Mr. Wolverine.
Well, I believe it's a complete work. I think if it's not a work, people spoke out of character because it came out that Vince has signed a 7-year deal with them. So why would it? Why would a 7-year deal come to fruition if there was a kidnapping? I honestly believe it was simply a plain issue with equipment. Equipment happens all the time. I can tell you, I've been stuck in worse places, Atlanta, Georgia. And you don't get out for a couple days, especially in a third world country. So with that being said, I'm sure some of the talent got a little crabby and basically said things out of character, out of turn. Some don't like going there in the first place, so.
I didn't buy into the whole kidnapping plot thing, but I did think that there was more at stake than just simple mechanical thing. Just the way people have been talking about it. Like, I don't think anybody was in danger of getting like black bagged or anything, but I really feel like it was trolling on a global scale.
Use social media whore.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Well, but here's a second result to all this though. With whatever happened, the atmosphere behind the scenes of WWE with performers, though, is not very good. You can look at Carl Anderson's tweet and the comments he made from his wife. Wrestlers have not gone to shows in the past, such as John Cena, Daniel Bryan, some of these guys have chosen. Sami Zayn is not allowed to go because of this.
Now it's Black's not allowed to go.
Right? So now you've got all of that happening, and on top of everything, now you've got these hurt feelings. You never know what's going to go on, and I'm not sure what to believe. Vince took a hit because everybody believed he escaped. He escaped unharmed before anything happened. After he pulled the plug, didn't pull the plug. He's getting bad press. But there's a lot of bad feelings in the locker room.
But I mean, here's the thing. Vince is always. I mean, it's not like Vince did anything out of character. He's always almost every live event. As soon as it's over, Vince takes off. He's got stuff to do. He's going to fly the jet. He doesn't fly with the talent. So I don't see it as Vince leaving the talent behind intentionally. He just did what Vince always does.
At least that's the reports according to Corey Graves' podcast.
Brock Lesnar did the same thing.
Right.
Nobody gave Brock any, crap for it.
Right, Scott?
Matt, I was going to say, Matt, awful quiet.
I was going to say, Brock actually kind of saved the show, too, because on the way in Iceland, Ric Flair and Hulk Hogan almost crashed.
Oh, yeah!
That's right.
Lesnar, the Minnesota boy, as they put it, came and picked them up and basically saved the show.
Shouldn't Flair just stay off airplanes now?
Good luck with those things.
Well, I'll tell you what, I would love to have been a fly on that plane with those people on that plane here with those discussions with Lesnar, Hogan, Flair, and whoever else was on there. Are you kidding me?
Well, Heyman.
Yeah, right. That's
Oh,
very
yeah.
true. Heyman probably was. But let's go to something positive though out of Saudi Arabia. Of course, the match between Natalya and Lacey Evans. It was a historical match in many ways. So Matt, why don't you kick off some thoughts about that happening?
It was a very historic event on that front because first women's match in Saudi Arabia, they're not known a lot for women's rights, so it's a huge deal that they let women perform in the country. And it was a good, safe match. They were both like fully clothed, big t-shirts on.
Right.
They didn't do anything too crazy, but it was enough that you can see the girls in the audience like, oh my God, there might be hope for us and what we can do in the future. So it was a really cool moment.
Yeah, it was actually like it's one of those moments in wrestling where you can actually feel the emotion of the moment. And I think with everything with the travel issues aside, I actually was very impressed by the event itself. I think it's the first Saudi event that I've seen where the crowd was really into it. You could tell that they were, there was a capacity crowd there. I don't know if it was a full sellout, but the crowd was really getting into it. It was the Saudi energy was there for the first. What's this? Their fourth or fifth show there. This is the first one that actually had like a big event feel to it.
With the prince spending that kind of money, better
Right?
applaud. You do not want to show that man up, or you will not make.
They'll have you beheaded and behanded. I just saw a comment come into my watch party. Val Jean, and I hope I'm pronouncing that right. She's checking in from Northern Nevada, and she says, "You guys are entertaining and compliment each other. Keep up the good work, man." Thank you.
Well,
Val.
thank you.
We'll send you the check in the mail tomorrow.
Absolutely.
So anyway, let me get 3 rings on the bell for our next topic. Cain Velasquez possibly injured his knee at the event. I heard, though, it was injured going into the match, which is why it was a short match and
Yeah.
not much happened.
I heard he got injured prior to the match, and that's why it turned into a squash. So,
That guy has such bad luck with injuries. Even like that's what derailed his whole MMA career was injury after injury after injury. So I was kind of hoping once he got into the predetermined stuff, it would be a little easier on him. But I've talked to a couple MMA guys that got into wrestling, like Dan Severn. He said he got hurt way more doing pro wrestling than he ever did MMA. So wrestling's way harder on him than MMA even was, and that was an eye-opening conversation.
Yeah, really.
For sure.
Really.
And Aaron, I don't know
Yes.
if you're controlling the board or not. One of our listeners, Paul, says the audio is real low, so I don't know if it's that end, this end, but we'll check it at this end so that you can hear us.
Yeah, absolutely. Just double check your own volume if you would, because we're checking our soundboard, and to us we sound about as loud as we can be without blowing each other's ears out. Well, at least for Johnny and I, because we had
I don't got
headsets.
headphones on, so y'all can yell
Exactly.
more.
All right, let us know if it gets any better. So, Mr. Wolverine, if you keep an eye on that. If anybody else is having any trouble, please let us know through the chat room. I appreciate it.
We have lots of troubles, but that's just
That's besides the
sport.
point. 3 bells, please. Paige wants to manage Nia Jax when she
that's
returns.
Nia Jax.
Nia, I'm from Jersey. It's Nia. Nia Jax.
Made
I
up
think
the
it's-
motto.
I think it's a great idea. I would love to see Paige with it.
Great idea, but is she going to come back to wrestling? I don't know if anyone saw
Who, Jax?
if you saw the FS1 show last night that premiered,
Okay.
there's a lot of storyline about her, and basically her ACL's gone.
That's what I was watching.
And so if your ACL's gone with that weight behind you, and she's a nice lady, she wasn't, she's a pretty girl. I mean, she's heavy, but realistically, that's not good news at all.
Yeah, I
for
was
the wrestling
watching,
career.
to give it a plug, Total Divas episode last week. She talked about going into the surgery. She had to, after she was learning how to jump off the top rope for the first time in her life.
You know what? My apologies. I was watching the shows back to back to get caught up.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, the FS1 show with
Right.
was a hoot also.
Yes. But yeah, so that was just talking about the prelim before surgery. She had the tests, the
Correct.
X-rays, MRIs, and all of that. Yeah, who knows? But I mean, thinking positively, look, we've seen stranger things happening with injuries. I mean, Daniel Bryan coming back when he was written off. You know, you have Edge who was written off and retired. He may be coming back. Paige is an example, on the other hand, where neck injury has forced her out. Now, will we see her maybe come back down the line like Daniel Bryan? Who knows? But is there a way that she can Jax, stabilize her knees enough to stay in the ring? Who knows?
Well, I mean, you look at NXT, you got Tegan Knox, who's granted is half the size of Nia Jax, but Tegan Knox came back from not 1 but 2 ACL injuries, 1 to each leg. So I feel like, if Tegan can come back from it, I think Nia could. She's just got to, do the work, do the physical therapy, and above all else, take care of herself.
But the thing with Nia's is she had the surgery, the replacement was there, the replacement is gone, so there's not
Oh, so the replacement
is
oh,
gone. So
then,
yeah, there's like it's
That
not like
could
you
be
go down to
a
Home Depot and
No,
buy these.
no. Tension came on choppers. We have
Yes.
knee replacements online.
ACL's on aisle 3.
Hey, I want to give a shout out to Justin Chuck, our good friend from BBW fandom as well. He's in the chat room. And Fal, I hope I'm pronouncing it right. She's sharing with us that she already did share to her photography Facebook page. So obviously she's a well-known photographer, and her group page. She'll share it tomorrow, but apparently she's recovering from a severe head injury from a horse running into her. How do you? That's crazy. I mean, how do you get into a position of a horse coming into you and hitting you? Were you not looking, or did the horse sneak up behind you?
Was it a headbutt fight?
Man, I mean, wish you well. I hope you recover, my friend.
Did it not have tail lights?
Let's stick to the main subject, shall we? Jeez.
Well,
Okay,
let's go
Phil-
main subject. We've got George, we got Ellie, we
Yes.
got Linda, we got Thomas, we got Brian, all listening.
By the way, Foul
Thank
Sounds
you.
says that our sound is fine.
Okay.
So, all right. Anyway, I'm sorry, but I love talking to people in the chat.
Oh,
It's great.
so on my live stream,
Yes.
I've got Ryan Smith saying that going back to the Kane Velasquez story, that Kane actually possibly hurt his knee in his last MMA fight.
Right. Okay. So that supports. what
So
we-
it's
that's
so
good.
it's a lingering injury.
Okay. So Paige, Nia Jax is, who knows? Paige green misted by the Kabuki Warriors last week. Now they're the champs. So what's next for Paige? I mean, she's on the backstage show, but I really like to see her involved in front of the crowd again.
I mean, you know, she's. I want to see her wrestle again, but I know that probably won't happen. But you know, I do think she can serve as a good mouthpiece. She's still obviously very over with the crowd because whenever her music hits, people
Oh,
go
yeah.
crazy. So I just, you know, I think there will always be a place for her in the company. I just, you know, I want them to find the right place. Because, you know, with Kabuki Warriors, I never was really sold on that pairing. I would like to see her get matched. I mean, heck, bring Absolution back and have her manage, you know, Mandy and Soga. Well, I don't understand why they had to break that whole thing up.
Well, because originally, when the girls on Raw and Paige got moved to SmackDown.
Oh, that's right,
together,
yeah, because
so
she
they-
became a SmackDown GM.
But now if they're all back at SmackDown, or if she's a freelance, why not? That's what I agree with. Why not put them back together? Seth Rollins makes speech, then has it retracted, saying people should keep stuff off of social media.
Pod meet kettle.
Right. Let's put the brakes on that one.
Didn't I like break that news about 5 minutes ago?
Yeah, did we talk about that? So that's why I'm just repeating it. Stay off of social media.
Seth Rollins has no business criticizing people's social media etiquette.
Let Becky Lynch handle social media. She does pretty good. Although no,
She
she
handles.
I'm not-
Never mind.
It's quiet. Quiet. Maybe he calls it social media now. I don't know. Honey, I need social media help. Anyway,
Let's get into a Twitter war.
but you know what's funny? Is it just me, or has Becky gone sort of quiet on Twitter? I don't know. There hasn't been anything on Twitter that I've read lately that.
I think with all the stuff coming out, I think Vince has told the guys, you need to calm down because you have, you know, Johnny Nitro or whatever organization he's with, you know, Morrison,
Right.
John Hennigan, he broke the news he signed. It wasn't supposed to be broken. You've got, you know, everybody coming out, spilling their guts on social media, and half of it's fake at this point. So let's cut to the facts. I'm pretty sure Vince has just said, hey, let's just stick to the game.
Hey, follow Kevin Owens on Twitter. He's the last real straight shooter.
Right. Okay, next topic. All right, so let's segue just a minute. All these guys and gals getting hung up in Saudi Arabia last Thursday, Friday.
Becky apparently needs to burn down Seth's Twitter.
Oh, yeah. Those guys coming back, I think we're all in agreement as we talked before the show. Probably the best damn SmackDown last Friday without all the regulars that, as you said, Matt, ever on the Fox network so far. And to me, I think it's been a long time since they've had such a great show, regardless of where they're there, Matt. I mean, you echoed that before.
Yeah, it was a really good show. It seems like when they do something like off the cuff and not have something like crazy planned out, it seems better than whatever writers come up with. So this whole like NXT invasion thing was
So
freaking awesome.
you guys, just side note, I'm getting more reports that they're not hearing us. I'm wondering if it's because we're picking up on that and not that. So because we're not live.
I'm hearing
Oh, that's
some
true.
on
We're not-
ours that
Yeah.
say we're just fine.
So,
So
Right.
it
but
might
again,
be
we're
different.
using the connection for the recording here,
Yeah.
for the MP3 files. So yeah, that's probably picking up the laptop or the
Yeah.
notebook
So
itself.
for the live stream, we
Right.
apologize for the bad sound. If you listen to the show on any of the audio outlets we use. All of them. The sound quality is much better, I assure you. It's just we're kind of working with two laptops because our primary laptop had an issue with Facebook Live, so we're having to use the tablet today.
So we'll talk louder over here, so you folks.
Heel turn.
Exactly. Heel turn right there.
Heel turn on my eardrums right there.
There you go. So it ended up being the best SmackDown last week, the NXT invasion.
Right.
But then again, we've seen these invasion type stories before, right? Nexus coming up from NXT years ago, right?
Yeah.
Nexus invaded. They took out Cena and everybody.
NWO.
WCW invading and years ago. So
Worst angle of all time.
right. So where do they go from here now with NXT? Is it going to be business as usual on Friday, or are they going to really incorporate more of it? I mean, I know we have some matches coming up the next pay-per-view, but what's next?
Well, my opinion, being the ex-Johnny, because I know he's going to fall in love with the NXT boys. Honestly,
I already am.
Nobody knew it was happening. So how were the ratings there? Was it the fact that they were back on Fox, not FS1?
Probably had a lot
no
of
World Series. And then why did the rankings tank for Raw when everybody was excited about NXT?
Bobby Lashley and Rusev, Lana Love Triangle, that's why Raw's tanking.
Yeah, but
Stupid
if everybody
luck,
knew
stupid.
it was carrying over, why didn't they turn in?
Right.
I agree, great show, but nobody knew that the NXT boys were. They didn't even know they were showing up until bell time. So it's not like
So
they had.
Vince cut off the feed in Saudi Arabia. That's when they knew they had to.
I actually heard like a lot of the NXT talent arrived there within like 15 minutes of the show even starting.
Absolutely, on the show FS1, I keep forgetting the name of it.
Backstage.
HBK mentioned he was there 15 minutes, walked in, and the segment with him and Hunter was done as he got out of the car.
Wow.
So Hunter said, "Come here, quick," and that was it. So we're off the bus. So.
Yes, Thomas, I agree. KO has been lost on Raw.
Adam Cole said he walked into the building as Brock Lesnar was getting out of the ring. So we had about an hour prepared for the main event of SmackDown.
I just want to let our listeners know, because I'm getting comments back in my feed again from Foul up in northern Nevada. What you're watching and hearing is not our normal setup. Unfortunately, on our laptop, Facebook gave us a bit of a problem. We could not connect to Facebook, therefore our board is not being fed. Our sound through our board through the laptop is not working properly. We are recording the audio, so you'll be able to re-listen to our show on our audio outlets. The video you're watching, though, is straight from an iPad, and unfortunately, we don't have any microphone direct setup. So this is a little bit of a patchwork tonight. But here's some good news. Coming future, probably next week maybe, we were just picked up by a new internet station, broadcasting station called GoLive.Vegas. And we will begin simulcasting not only on Facebook, but on GoLive.Vegas as well, hopefully as early as next week. Unfortunately, with the internet issues we're having and everything, we couldn't make it work. So just know we are expanding. Check it out, and you'll have another location to pick us up. So just want to share that. Okay, next. WWE report, not like we haven't been talking about them. I think the biggest news out of WWE after post-Saudi Arabia, after Randy Orton posts these tweets with the word elite behind him, speculation that his contract was going to run out and he was going to consider AEW. The man signs not a 1, not a 2, but a 5-year contract extension to stay with the WWE until he turns 44. Gentlemen, smart or not?
I never saw him going to AEW to begin with. He's always been a company man. He's always been, he's one of the faces of WWE for the last, 15 years. I never thought he would be going anywhere else. So.
Guys?
I think he was just trolling fans with that picture.
Yeah.
Maybe just to get a pay raise, ruffle Vince's feathers. He probably gets a kick out of it, I'm sure, after a while.
I mean, I hear Randy's actual personality backstage is that he is a bit of a prankster and he's kind of an asshole. So
Yeah, probably got him a pay raise and take care of his family for the rest of his life, I'm sure.
I think, would you put him as one of the most underrated guys in WWE right now?
No, I think his career got derailed because of injury.
You think so?
To me, he would have been the next heel John Cena. He was on that path, and he would have been, Evolution. He would have been the next mainstay of a stable. I mean, they did it with the Shield initially with him. And by the way, I'll cover that later when we get to AEW. But he would have been the world champion and carried the torch. And he just had too many injuries.
we forget though he's a 13-time champion. Is he not?
Very true.
Yeah, I mean, only what Triple H, Cena, and Flair have more titles than him.
Right.
And our truth.
And okay, world titles.
The 24/7 titles changed more in a week.
It's like how many times was Hardcore Holly or Crash Holly hardcore champion?
I just had to put that out there.
That 24/7 title changed hands 4 times in Saudi Arabia for Christ. The same brothers.
Don't say Christ's sake in Saudi Arabia.
No, I'm sorry. Allah's sake. Anyway, but
I'm surprised the Saudi prince didn't get the 24/7 title.
He probably did.
he probably that was off camera though. You know, he probably had someone pin somebody in his behalf. He won't get down on his knees for anything. But anyway,
Oh god.
we have lost control of the show, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. Yes, the bell is rung. This match is over. Okay. All right, where do you want to go next, guys? Scarlett signs with WWE, guys.
Yes.
Let's talk on that one.
Smoke Show heading to WWE.
That's right. Wow, man. I can't-
Or is it going to be the Killer Smoke Show very soon?
Let's hope so. I hope a certain someone gets their release from Impact. You know where he's going soon.
You know, though, I honestly feel like Cross would be a better fit for AEW, though. Just his character, his style, and I think, you know, it might be like a little boost to their roster as well. Just saying. It's my opinion.
Sorry, guys. I keep everybody's messaging me through my feed here, so I'm just trying to respond to everybody about the sound as well.
Yeah.
You know what though? I think though, you know, people have this thing about AEW, of course, being wide open and more flexible and less constraining than WWE. But I think that, you know, you can complain, people can complain all they want about the WWE. The thing is, though, they have been a mainstay for 50 years. Right?
It's
Something
like
that.
playing in the NFL or the CFL.
I hate to say this or the XL. Sorry, Lance.
Gave Vince a free plug there.
I know. No, but I mean, yeah, well, yeah, send me the check, right? But I think that's kind of what it's like.
I heard the XFL is interested in signing the Black Cat for Monday night.
Yeah. Yeah, well, someone who said it about the Black Cat spending more time in the end zone than the Giants. Yeah, that's Scott, thank you.
That's your team.
Yes, it is.
You had
That's
you
right,
had
opposite
one
sides of the
job.
table.
You had one job. Beat the Cowboys.
We played the Jets this weekend. The only hope we have is if Darnold sees more ghosts on the field.
Loser has to clean the stadium.
And they're gonna get Baker Mayfield's dustbuster that he used in the ESPN commercial to clean the stadium.
Oh my God! Did you see Baker Mayfield's interview after the game? He looked like he needed a dustbuster. He looked like he was covered in Dorito crumbs.
He needed friends. He needed friends.
He needed a hug.
That's right. Where's Bailey? Well, Bailey doesn't do it.
Oh God, he looked like a divorced dad.
Alexa Bliss. Alexa Bliss now maybe story is she's been
Dear
injured
God, no.
with
No!
with a possible shoulder injury. They're keeping mum on what the injury is, but speculations come out that maybe it's a shoulder.
I have an ice bag. I'm hoping the wife's not watching.
Yeah, let's see. See, I know mine's not, so I could have said something like that. So
Love you, babe.
that just means that that's why we haven't seen her since they dropped the tag team titles to Nikki, with Nikki, I should say. To the Kabuki Warriors, so hopefully it's not serious, but you know, concussions and now a shoulder injury. She's what, in her mid-20s? I mean, could this be a not such a good sign for her wrestling future?
That's the last person I want with a freaking injury, but she's
No.
like one of the best women like in the company.
Absolutely.
Still though, I mean, even if Alexa is hurt, they can still utilize her as a talker, which they've done in the past when she was battling her concussions.
Yeah, but that moment of bliss in those interviews, I was not entertained by them myself. That's just me.
You
She's
didn't-
good, but she's better in the ring.
Come on, you didn't like when Otis came out? He was like, pretty lady,
Well, that's different.
ducky.
Yeah, I can almost see Alexa, you know, almost in as a manager role herself with that firing spirit, being able to talk.
Absolutely, the mic skills. And we were talking about Paige, you know. How about Paige doing some color commentary?
Yeah, I mean, with all
that
due
would be a
with all due respect to Beth Phoenix down at NXT, not cutting it. Not cutting it. And I think having somebody like Paige possibly doing it, who's closer connected to the people down there now, you're talking about the generational gap, sort of.
Yep.
Paige is closer to those people, and I think that's
NXT.
I could actually see Paige on Raw as a better fit, especially since they put Dio Madden through a table and he just disappeared for the rest of the show.
I've never been a Dio Madden fan. I just think
Dude, you know what?
it's a good way of getting rid of him.
I didn't realize how tall that dude was until he squared up with Brock. He had like a good 3 inches on Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar is not a small man.
You know what though, the sad part with that is I didn't even know who that guy was.
Exactly.
Still don't.
To me, when you don't have a name to attract you to commentary or something, to me, it's boring if you don't have a guy that you can follow and understand and know. Now, Renee Young, right, on was it Smackdown on Friday, whatever, she got kicked in the face when, when somebody went past her.
When Rhea Ripley threw Tegan Nox into her.
There you go.
And then, like, or not Tegan Nox, but,
Since you brought up Renee Young,
Okay.
if you saw the Fox show,
Right.
did anybody catch her little snide comment when they mentioned the Shield? She chuckled and goes, "I like the Shield." I was rolling. I'm like, for all those in the know, she's obviously married to Dean Ambrose or Jon Moxley, and it was kind of a backhanded slap there.
I like cooking too.
What's that?
Yes, and she likes cooking.
Oh, she
too.
likes cooking too? Cooking what?
I just like that Moxley's still claiming WWE benefits for his health care.
Right. Well, because he's covered under her.
Oh, he's covered under her plan.
That's why.
It's like Vince is paying his medical bills.
So is Shawn Spears.
That's
Yeah.
right. That's right. That's smart.
Making that Peyton Royce money.
Superstar Billy Graham takes to social media again. Now, I have to say, in 1976, I saw him lose the belt to Bob Backlund. I was live in the Garden, at 12 years old, the night that he dropped the belt to Backlund beat him. But Superstar Billy Graham's at it again on social media after Kofi Kingston won the title. A week or two later, Superstar comes out and says Kofi should be taking steroids and should beef up. And what do you know? Just like he did, replay, re-record, he comes out this week and says the same thing about Adam Cole.
Well, he's done this numerous times involving me in the CAC. Somebody needs to unplug him from social media. And then after the Adam Cole comment, he says if you need instructions how to use it, ask Triple H. I mean, you're throwing everybody under the bus.
Bad blood?
Absolutely bad blood. And he should just, stifle it. Go away.
Stifle.
And go do Comic-Con, sign your, autograph sessions and, autographs, but just stay out of it. You're way past your prime. You have no business even talking about the business right now.
Although, sorry, man.
He's just trying to keep himself relevant, I think, on like social media, but he's just giving himself and his legacy a bad name.
Absolutely.
I'm not gonna lie though, if they did a podcast with Billy Graham, Scott Steiner, and Ryback, would that be the most crazy, off-the-wall, entertaining thing you've ever heard of?
That room would be full of protein farts.
Oh my goodness.
God, yeah. My freaks and my peaks.
Hey, did you see, speaking of freaks, and this is not on the run sheet, so I'm going to go off this for a second. Ken Shamrock last night, and who was it? Who's the guy with the... Is it...
I know where this is going.
No, who's the guy? I don't want to say his name.
Joey Ryan.
Joey Ryan. And everybody's referring to it, and I'm going to say it because I guess it's the move, the dick flip.
Yeah, the penis flex.
Okay, so I don't know if you saw the video. It was cutting out on my phone, maybe happily so. But apparently, it took quite some convincing of Shamrock to take the move.
I would imagine.
I'm not a big Ken Shamrock fan, but he's at least historically in the mix of respecting the business. And Joey, to me, he's a cartoon character.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go to Nickelodeon or whatever you want to do for the adult cartoons, and it just has no place in wrestling. We all know what wrestling is. It's entertainment, and to me, at least respect the business. You have no respect for the business. Enough said.
See, I think it was a bad booking decision to even put those two in the ring together. I mean, Joey Ryan has his place in wrestling, and I can't say that I'm not entertained by him from time to time, but you don't put him in the ring with Ken Shamrock, who's arguably one of the hardest guys in the business, like one of the most serious guys. Like, I had a hard time even taking Shamrock seriously when he was in Right to Censor. So, they've never given Ken Shamrock ridiculous things to do. So why are you going to put him in the ring with one of the most ridiculous character wrestlers in the business today?
And the amount the announcers are trying to put that move over was ridiculous.
And Ryan just tweeted in or messaged about Orange Cassidy, and I agree. To me, it's a gimmick work. And
what is that one? Fill us in.
Basically, well, I'll let Matt do that. He's a big Orange Cassidy fan.
Okay.
Hey, Orange Cassidy is the coolest thing in the business right now.
He's the guy who has his hands in his pockets, always doing
he does? So
slow kicks and jumping out of the ring with his hands in his pocket. It's like pretty cool what he does, but to a point. Like the stuff in his pockets, but like the little kicks to the legs. And I don't get that part, but some of the stuff he does is pretty.
It takes the believable aspect out of pro wrestling.
You want to keep that from feeling of could this be real? Could it not be real?
Yeah.
You want to like that belief of like, could this like, is this actually happening or isn't?
I will say one thing in defense of Orange Cassidy. He's one of probably the most athletic people on the
I'm not
AEW
doubting that,
roster.
but there's a time and a place.
Yeah, and sometimes novelties though do wear off after a while.
Like
And that's
Joey
the thing,
Ryan.
you know, it's like that new car smell. Eventually
Yeah.
will go away.
True.
You know? All right, next topic. First women's War Games match announced. Gentlemen,
Awesome.
Come on, Team
I
Rhea
can't wait
Ripley
for it.
versus Team Baszler. Yeah, sign me up for that.
and is that an NXT event?
Yeah, that's going to be a war, which is weird because if NXT is going to be taking part in Survivor Series the next night, you got to wonder how much they're going to utilize the NXT talent, you know, at War Games because they traditionally go really hard at War Games.
Right.
And I just want to make sure that Shayna Baszler doesn't kill herself in the War Games match because she's got to fight Bayley and Becky Lynch the following night on Survivor Series.
She's gonna have a busy week.
Yeah, very busy weekend.
All right, next topic. Next topic. Okay, my bellman has gone to sleep.
Yes. So he's buying a candy bar from a charitable
Chocolates are more
organization.
important.
What do we? What's the charity, Chief? What's the charity over there? No. What are we selling candy for?
To help out my sister's math and science program.
What school?
Crestwood Elementary.
Crestwood Elementary. Is that somewhere down here?
No, it's somewhere around where the Swami is.
The Swami.
Yeah.
Who's the Swami? Oh, the Swami.
Yeah.
So
I'm going to do my part. I'm
Oh, okay.
stepping away.
All right, he's gonna go buy some chocolate.
Don't pull a hammer, Scott.
Yeah, don't pull a hammer. You buying for everybody? So you buying one for everybody? That's what I want to know.
Caramel, dark chocolate, and over there is almond and wafer, which I like the Kit Kat.
Wow.
I'm just gonna grab.
It's so nice though. Quite frankly, these candy sales for schools are terrific.
Thank you guys.
You're
Have a
welcome.
good night.
Good luck.
Bye.
Okay.
I had my dinner.
Yes. Hopefully, yeah, right, exactly. Hopefully, your wife now really isn't watching.
The sad part is she is.
Oh, okay. Well, there
She
you
said
go.
with almonds, please.
Oh, did she really? Oh, she wants some nuts? Is that what you're saying? She wants some nuts?
Crap.
Busted.
There you go.
Caramel work?
You just grabbed 5 caramels?
Milk chocolate.
Beggars can't be choosers, okay?
Jeez Louise. Hey, by the way, while they're talking about chocolate over there, Power Play Sports and Collectibles on December 14th is going to have somebody known as a Bash brother, Jose Canseco. It's going to be here signing some autographs. Scott, why don't you talk about that?
Absolutely. He'll be here from 4 to 5. Actually, that whole weekend, the 13th, 14th, and 15th, we got 50 different vendors selling toys, comics, collectibles here at the Boulevard Mall. Not only do we have Jose Canseco, but we also have WWE Hall of Famer Tony Atlas.
Tony.
Will be here on Saturday also. And Simon Gotch will be here on Saturday also. And unfortunately, I might have, well, actually, I do. I have another one for all the kids who like Disney.
Okay.
Margaret Carey will be here signing autographs. She was the original body model for Tinkerbell for
Oh.
Disney. So it's kind of cool.
The original one?
The absolute. She's a wonderful lady. Has some books.
Who played Tinkerbell on stage
I don't know.
in the Broadway play many, many moons ago?
Julie Andrews.
The only one I know
Was it?
offhand is
No.
Julia Roberts on
I just remember Mary
No,
Martin
not
as
on-
Peter Pan.
Anyway, all right. Sandy Duncan, by the way.
Oh, that's
Okay.
absolutely correct. And like I mentioned, we've got Margaret Carey coming in, and hopefully by next week I should have a blockbuster name.
Wow. Blockbuster's closed though.
I know, block.
I want to see it.
And he hasn't started the candy yet.
All I
ladies
know
and
is I've shared
It's-
some of the information with this
It's
guy.
still better than
and
Hollywood Video.
He's
What'd you say?
thoroughly excited, I guess.
Hey, stop leaning out. They can't
Yes!
see
I know.
this. And you
I'm a little worried. He's excited. What
Yes.
he might bring in.
Well, the table hasn't
And it's
risen on
not.
that end yet.
It's,
But
it's not Alexa Bliss.
last week you fell off the chair and hurt your hamstring, so please stay seated.
I
this
know.
week. So, by the way, Tony Atlas, my previous show years ago called Good Guys at Pro Wrestling when I was on Fox, I actually interviewed Tony over the phone for about 30 minutes. It was a great interview. Great interview to chat with him, and hopefully I can schedule that weekend and come down and see him.
Absolutely, and we'll have that interview for our listeners.
Yeah, we'll see what we can do if, we can get him going. But anyway, Tony Atlas is a great guy and a lot of history. And I learned about him with that series that was on Viceland with the Manny Fernandez murder thing and how close to that situation he was. I mean,
Absolutely.
So-
people seem to forget that he carried Bruiser Brody out of the locker.
Yeah.
right. That's right. So, terrible story there. Okay, next up. We're going to go to the indie corner. Why don't you talk about what's going on tomorrow night for Big Valley Wrestling?
Tomorrow night at Big Valley Wrestling, we have a show at Rancho High School to benefit the Rancho High School wrestling team. I believe it starts at what's bell time? At 5?
I believe it's 6 o'clock.
6
I know our call time is 4:30.
So we got a couple good matches announced for that. We got Kevin Nuggets versus Santana Jackson. So.
Right, that's one of them. That's for the title, I think.
Yeah, that's going to be for the.
Yeah, so come on down to Rancho High School. It's going to be the ROTC gym. It's a fundraiser for the Rancho wrestling team. Yeah, it should be a fun time. For some reason,
Go Rams!
For some reason, my watch party on my phone has frozen, so I have no idea what's going on. Nothing's happening. We're not moving on my phone, but I know your guys are still moving, which is good.
Yep.
Okay, next topic. Joey Mercury. Why don't we talk about that, guys? So, Matt, why don't you talk about that? The Joey Mercury story.
As Joey Mercury quit Ring of Honor and completely buried the company all over Twitter, he was putting people's contract expiration dates, how much people were getting paid, telling everybody that there's no medical team, no security, there's no concussion protocols for their talent. Basically told everybody with Kelly Klein's permission, started emails about her contract. Apparently, the top female in that company only makes $24,000 a year.
That's sad.
There ain't no way you can survive. People in retail make more than that.
I make more than $24,000 a year.
That is insane. I couldn't believe what I read.
And that's when you're working. You set yourself up for these times.
I know.
And it's entertaining for the three of us.
Insert Boulder Highway joke here.
I know you're a banjo. Well, one thing I have to say about Joey Mercury, he's a straight shooter, but it's an indie. You're not going to make a lot of money. You need to get to, and Ring of Honor, even though it's a high indie, it's still not WWE. Once again, it's like playing in the CFL versus the NFL.
True that. That's like Pee Wee leagues to WWE.
Well, speaking of Pee Wee League, you set me up for this. I had the wonderful weekend here at Power Play, and everybody should have been down here. Those who came, I appreciate it. I spent Friday on the golf course with Tessa Blanchard. You didn't get your.
Were you his caddy?
No, but he taught me a few things and realized he's a damn good golfer.
What Scott's trying to say is that Tessa Blanchard schooled him.
Oh, absolutely. I shot a 184.
On the front nine?
Yeah.
Right.
But I had a wonderful time on the golf course with him and a good friend of mine, Mike. We enjoyed it thoroughly, had some great conversation, not only about golf, but about AEW and where it's going. And some of it I can share, some of it I can't. I'll tease everybody out there. But he's thoroughly impressed with the AEW. He signed for, a while. I was really surprised Arn's not signed.
Oh wow! I thought it was like a design producer.
Exactly. And I mentioned that because he wasn't at the last taping. I said, bump into Arn, home week, and he's like, Arn's per appearance, and I'm like, wow. Yeah. I was really shocked at that.
Did you happen to ask him? I know you kind of talk. I mean, you have an outside relationship with the family. Has he ever talked about what he thinks of pro wrestling today versus when he was in it as a performer?
He will support whatever is out there. He just likes it to be professional.
Okay.
And people like the Joey Ryans,
not his cup of tea.
He has some concerns about some of the people in the business that he has to work with, and he usually distances himself from them.
Okay.
But he told me that Cody's doing 99% of the booking.
Right. That
Tony Khan is a serious mark and has a lot of money. He's willing to throw it in there.
Right.
So we'll see how far this goes. Yeah.
I was just curious. I mean, obviously he's been around it for a long time. And you know how trends are and things change, and I was just curious as to what his thoughts are about pro wrestling today versus when he was performing in the ring as well.
He does state, the guys nowadays need to tell more of a story, and the mic work needs to be better.
If there's ever a Sean Spears versus Orange Cassidy match on Dynamite, I'm just watching Tully's face the whole time.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And then that other person that came with him, I forget her name, Matt, maybe you can help me.
Tessa
Absolute sweetheart. huge future ahead of her. She is going to be with Impact through the year.
Well, she said 8 months.
Yes.
She's still signed Impact for 8 months.
Yes. And there's a lot of surprises going to happen in Impact. And she is basically going to write her own ticket when that move is made. She says she's been in talks with both major companies, that being WWE and AEW, and she doesn't know where she's going. She's listening to the offers. And
Well, suffice it to say, she's in the driver's seat. They'll probably have a
Absolutely.
pick of where she'll
Yeah.
want to end up. And I'm sure Tully's going to be there to give her the best fatherly advice.
I'm pretty sure in 8 months she's going to be the hottest free agent in professional wrestling.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, Pro Wrestling Illustrated came out with their top 100 women, and needless to say, she was 5.
Right.
And the 4 others were all WWE girls in front of her.
Were they the 4 horsemen?
You had
Charlotte and Becky.
Becky, Charlotte, the NXT champion,
Baszler?
and Ronda Rousey. Which
Okay.
yeah. And then Bayley was behind Tessa,
Right.
and WWE girls until the next indie was I think at 10.
Okay, next. So staying on Tessa for a second, she just became world champ, right?
No,
But she's going to
She's
be
challenging Sami
challenging.
Callihan.
She's challenging Sami Callihan.
What do you think the impact would be if she does win the belt, win a men's championship belt? What would be the impact?
Well, it's not on her. China won the Intercontinental Championship.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but Intercontinental is not the same as a heavyweight. It's not the same level, not the same fanfare. It's not the face in front of the camera.
Well, it's the women's evolution happening, and
Right.
who says that Impact can't ride that wave that WWE ladies have started?
But the ladies are still for title matches. Are still staying within their division. Yeah, you have Nia coming into a battle royale. Becky did that and all of that. Okay, I get that. But now you're talking about traditionally what has been the most recognizable level of titleship that generally carries a company. Now,
The belt.
Well, the belt, the title, okay? I'm not sure having a female, Tessa or otherwise, I'm not sure if China had won the heavyweight championship belt, it would have made any difference then. I'm not sure that that's a good thing or a bad thing for the projection of what the company needs for its face of the company, the face that what's
I see where you're going, being old school. you and I
school,
both-
yeah, I
and I agree. But if you look at Impact, what else do they got?
And honestly, in Impact, she is the face of the company.
So she is the face, and what's a better face, Tessa? Or Sami Callihan was spit all over me. No, Tessa feels about that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We
What's that? Not on my skin, only on my gear.
she almost she tried to keep a straight face. She did, but it was like, oh my god. And then with Impact, they really have no talent left on the roster. A few people here and there. The major talent is Tessa. You go to their matches, people start chanting, "We're here for Tessa."
Yeah.
Tessa this, Tessa
I may
that.
have started a couple of those changes.
Yeah, exactly. and unfortunately, they're going to ride the wave because that's all they have.
Who else are going to put the belt on? Joey Ryan?
They were in 2 belts with it.
Yeah, I was like, well, the
He could be his own tag team partner.
I was like, well,
Rob
the penis
Van
and the belt
Dam
too.
or Rhino maybe.
The human thumb.
All right. Listen, it's interesting fodder because we know about the revolution, and yes, I think it's great that the ladies have really garnered their own recognition. I'm still not 100% sold on the, I want to say the mixed matches. Yeah, they're quirky and all that stuff. I just don't know if the profession is ready to have a traditional
I see where you're going with
Well,
it.
I mean,
place for that level belt. I mean, even WWE, the women have their own belts. They're not wearing the traditional men's heavyweight title or the universal title.
And I think for a lot of the viewership, a lot of the indies are going to mix type tag, not just where you have a male female and then the woman tags in, the other woman has to come in automatically.
Well, we saw that at BBW.
Yeah, but I think more and more of the indies are going towards cross-gender matches and things like that.
It's been going on in the unions for years already.
Yeah.
I mean, heck, even here in FSW, it's not uncommon to see Sandra Moon and they're mixed up with boys.
But how believable, you talk about keeping a story, okay, like we were just talking about before with Joey and what he does and crossing that line about it being believable or not is something, but how believable can you carry a story when you have, I don't know, pick any combination of now. Brock Lesnar go up against Becky Lynch. Just based on size and strength and everything else.
Absolutely. I agree with
So
you.
how believable can you really make it that Becky Lynch could and might and will beat a Brock Lesnar for the heavyweight title?
Well, I don't think that's likely or even believable in the slightest. But you know,
Well, we're saying it could happen.
in wrestling, anything
Right.
can happen. Never say never.
I saw a clip on YouTube where Kenny Omega in Japan once in a ring with a girl who was about 8 years old. Did you see that?
Was
clip?
it Rio?
No. It was a young gal, 8, 9 years old, and they're doing moves in the ring, and she's flipping him, and he duck unders. I mean, come on, But you look at it and go, really? Okay, it's great. She jumps and does the Hurricane Rana around his neck. I mean, come on. I mean, that type of thing suspends believability in what people want to look at as whether wrestling is real or not. And that kind of stuff, people go,
You know
wrestling's not real.
but you know what? Some matchups could be plausible. I
Give me
mean,
one.
well, for one, the next tag match at WrestleMania 2 years ago between Stephanie and Triple H versus Angle and Ronda, and Ronda got in there and mixed it up with Triple H. I thought that was a believable matchup because Ronda's just a very, very tough powerhouse.
Okay, I'll give you that one. I'll give you that one.
I think it just depends how you look it, honestly.
Yeah, it's all
It's
comes
like-
down to the booking.
If the female's going at the male and they're just duking it out, that kind of don't make sense. But if the guy gets out of the ring, makes a mistake, she jumps on him, kind of stuff like that to get the upper hand, kind of makes sense, make it believable.
It's not just a question of Becky versus Brock. I don't even see a lot of the male talent beating Brock, plausibly.
Well, Rey Mysterio.
Yeah, well, put our truth in the ring with Brock.
But Mysterio, though, has a track record going back to WCW where he's beaten the bigger guys.
Yeah, he's built his career on beating
but
small under.
I still didn't believe it. He's fast. He does all the lucha, and I give all the credit for that stuff.
Absolutely.
But he's just too small to go up against Big Show or at the time Paul Wright, and
I think my right leg is bigger than Rey Mysterio.
With the whole NXT versus WWE thing in Survivor Series, why are we not having Walter versus Brock Lesnar?
Oh man, that would be.
I want to see that match.
Why did you say that? Because now I'm just like, oh my god, that sounds like a great
That would
match.
be a killer match. I don't want to see Mysterio versus Brock.
She just tweeted in that Nia Jax can take on anybody.
Right?
Who's that? Who tweeted that in?
My wife.
Well, I mean,
That was two bad knees.
Nia Jax did enter the Royal Rumble,
Absolutely, she
the
did.
men's Rumble.
Apparently now he's got to kick her in the
But,
knee.
but I guarantee you, for booking, if Alexa and Tessa would ever in the future tag team, I'm pretty sure
Dream team.
2 people here would take the fall in a heartbeat.
Oh, I would.
In a heartbeat.
I have so many thoughts running through my head that I can add to that comment, but I'm just going to
I would jump out. I would jump out
I
to
submit.
Wrestle
I'm
Heartbeat.
tapping.
Right to censor.
Right, I just, oh my god. Oh my god. This Jacqueline and company need him. Albanians. Oh my god. Even
The Good Father.
the good father was in that film.
Oh, Lord.
Basically, they took all of
Molly
their
Holly.
all of their controversial gimmicks. They're like, okay, we're gonna put a white shirt.
We're going to kill all of them.
You're not gonna be that gimmick anymore.
Jesus. All right. Should we move to some pop culture?
Yeah, sure.
Pop culture.
Chicken sandwiches are back, baby.
And so is murder, apparently.
Well, murders.
Or stabbing.
I don't think murder ever goes out of style. But when it's a chicken sandwich related murder, that's a recipe for something special right there.
Send your comments to Johnny at thoughtscountanywhere.com.
I want to cover one of the pop culture topics.
Go for it.
And that is our lovely Golden Knights, one of my friends, Ryan Reeves.
Yes.
Obviously, he's right in saying Evander Kane's a real beep beep because Evander Kane is being sued by Cosmopolitan for owing them over $500,000 in unpaid markers. So, go Knights, go. We pay our bills here, I guess, and the Sharks can go.
Hey, by the way, speaking of Reeves, thank you again for the donations you made to the Twin Brothers
Oh, well, thank you very much for
show
that.
last week. The 2 individuals who, because we held the pucks out last, we had Reeves and McNabb, which were kind enough to donate. We held those out as the last prizes. Those 2 folks who won, they were so ecstatic for having their ticket drawn.
That's
to win
awesome.
those pucks. Absolutely. They were absolutely delighted. So thank
Appreciate
you again.
your comment.
Thank you to Power Play Sports and everybody who sponsors it, but those hockey pucks, that was the highlight. So,
And I have more here at the store. So for Christmas gifts, if the customers want to
Hanukkah, for stocking stuffers.
Absolutely.
for
We
markets.
have Ryan Reeves. We have McNabb, we have England, we got them all.
Flurry,
Yeah.
Marchesol.
Do you have Bart Andre Fleury bobbleheads?
No, but I saw he was on the show, so
I want-
we need to talk afterwards.
I want to bark bobblehead.
Yeah, and he was kind enough to donate 2 of his bobbleheads to Bart as
Did,
well.
speaking of Ryan Reeves, you see him standing up for Alex Tuck the other day during the Winnipeg game?
I was there with the family.
Oh my God!
And it was quite entertaining to see the ref go to both and basically ask Lowry, "Do you think you can do this? Are you going to be a big boy?" Put him in the
Put him in big
and he, I mean,
The
when
fact-
does Ryan take a face off?
The fact that that wasn't even called as a major was just an insult, in my opinion. So.
I just loved it that
But yeah,
shrugged the gloves off.
but good enough for Revo. Like he was already talking smack before that face off.
Oh, absolutely.
Nice.
Full Grim Reaver in full goon mode. I loved it.
All right. Disney Plus launches next week. Disney Plus what?
It's a streaming service. I already have my pre-order.
It's their streaming service, basically all
Like
the
credit
Disney
card.
shows, Star Wars, Marvel, all that stuff's going to be streaming on there. Plus
Almost
all the-
every Disney movie in the history.
Plus
of
all the
Disney.
new shows they have
And
coming
what are they
out.
charging for that now?
The Simpsons,
$7.99. It's cheaper than Netflix.
The Simpsons?
Don't
Why
forget.
would they be putting the Simpsons
Fox
on?
owns Disney. Yeah, it's a
Yeah, but
yeah. And trust me, my credit card's already been charged. I was informed of that.
but Disney has always had this wholesome appearance. Out with the mouse and with the wholesome stuff. To me, the Simpsons ain't very wholesome.
How about Deadpool? Just
Yeah.
like
That's true.
Hey.
I didn't see Bart Simpson as Deadpool. Probably just a hospital.
Ryan Reynolds.
Ryan Reynolds is great. He was made for that part.
Absolutely.
Ryan Reynolds was made for that part. That's for darn
He was
sure.
trying to get that movie made for like 10 years.
Yeah.
Was he the producer behind it?
Oh,
Or
he's,
last time?
he's one of the executive producers.
Gotcha.
And he also co-wrote the scripts. So that's his baby.
All right. So more pop culture. I just want to throw out there, and because nothing else really comes to mind other than some sports news. I don't know why. College basketball started last night. College football, the top 6 for the college football playoffs were announced last night. All I care about is my Nittany Lions were number 4.
Number 4, baby.
Right.
I think that's the only team me and Aaron agree on besides the Knights.
That's right.
Go,
And
go
to
Penn
top
State.
it- to quickly top
Okay,
it off,
where's Michigan?
8. Yeah, we're in Michigan. Is Jim Harbaugh's bags being left at the
Because
curbside?
I really
yet?
don't know, honestly.
Can't we pick on Johnny? It's much more entertaining for me.
You can't pick on me. My team's number 4.
That's right. That's like the Four Thoughtsmen. So this Saturday, 8-0 Penn State goes against 8-0 Minnesota. It's the first time that 2 8-0 teams within, I think, the Big Ten will be facing off.
Yeah, Golden Gophers.
Yeah, so it's going to be a big.
Well, during the playoff series, because back in the early '80s, Michigan and Ohio State were 1 and 2, and
That's
both
true.
undefeated.
Very true.
Keep in mind, I believe Ohio State is also undefeated.
Yes, Ohio State is still undefeated.
But they're
I
not
can't
facing.
say-
But they're not facing another undefeated team this week.
No,
Yeah.
they're facing Maryland, and then I think the big showdown is against Penn State.
Yeah, that's in a couple of
Yeah.
weeks.
Bring it. Brandy, if you're
Michigan.
listening, the Lions are coming for your Buckeyes.
Thomas in the chat room shares it'll be $12.99 for Disney Plus, Hulu, and ESPN Plus.
Don't we get a kickback from those 3 companies now?
We should.
Okay.
We should.
Send them a bill.
Sponsor.
Cha-ching,
Send them a
cha-ching,
bill. Let's see if they
cha-ching.
pay. If they don't pay, I know a good collections person that you can send after them, right, Paula Maggio? She'll be happy to take part of her fee out of that number. She's great, though. She's good.
Well, speaking of some pop
I-
culture, when you mentioned fees and things like that, it was brought to my attention.
Yes.
The homie Ed. Say it for me.
Which one?
Rhapsody.
Bohemian
Yes,
Rhapsody.
thank you.
Right.
I can never say that for some reason.
I teach phonics to elementary school
I-
kids.
I-
I can teach you that one if you like.
But Brian May, who is the lead guitar player
Yes.
for Queen,
Yes.
he was an executive producer, and the young lady that played Freddie Mercury's
Wife.
the original, they were all in on the movie to
Okay.
give. They all thought they would possibly get one share of about $1 million apiece. The young lady getting
To
five-
split?
no, one share apiece.
Oh, okay.
For the remaining band members.
Gotcha.
So they thought 1 million. It actually turned out to be 101 million. That's how well that movie
I'll
did.
just take the 1
Whoa.
million.
Each.
I'll take just the
Each.
1 million. I
That's
don't need the 100
incredible.
million. Just give me the 1 million.
But
I'm
if you
okay
have
with
not
it.
seen that movie, you need to see that.
It was
movie.
It's a good movie.
Personally, though, I actually like Rocket Man a lot better.
You would.
I saw them both as well, but I got to tell you, I like Bohemian Rhapsody better. I think the story about Elton John was a little campy to me in a lot of ways.
I like
And he's still alive.
He's a campy character.
Yeah, but still, the story of Elton. But I shared on my Facebook wall this past week. You guys didn't see it. Congratulations, Sir Elton. 29 years of
Sober.
30 years of sobriety.
I did see that on
So,
your Facebook, so I was
God
watching.
bless him. There you go. What does that mean? Next topic? No.
He's happy.
Oh, sobriety. Oh, okay. So when you celebrate, isn't it like a 21 bell thing? What do they do when somebody dies on TV? Is it 21 bells or 10 bells?
10 bells.
Give us 10. Yeah, don't take forever. We only have 2 minutes left.
That was 9.
You know, Aaron, going back to the statement you made a few minutes ago.
Yes, which one?
The one where you said you knew a collection special.
Oh, yes.
I thought you were going to say the Repo Man.
Oh my God! Oh my God! I could see him in this gray coat and this little Robin-like mask.
Yeah, no, you get the Riddler mask.
Riddler, oh my gosh!
You know that's Barry Darso. He was also Smash of Demolition.
That's right. That was how we got started early on. My goodness gracious! All right, so we're actually coming down to some closing moments. We actually made up a little time, given the fact that we started a few minutes late. Any last-minute pop culture news that you guys want to throw out there? Nothing? Good.
Chicken sandwiches.
Oh yes, thank you.
Absolutely, Chief. Thank
Yes,
you.
on behalf of all of us here at Thoughts Count Anywhere, next Monday is Veterans Day, which also, if my wife is watching, which I doubt, 32 years ago, November 11th. Yeah, 32 years ago, November 11th, on Veterans Day, I proposed to my wife.
Congratulations.
Thank you. You
Congrats.
talk about being a good soldier. There's one right there.
Absolutely.
Right there. That was it. So.
In the trenches.
Anyway, we want to thank everybody who served, past served, still serving, and families of those who served. God bless you all, and a day well deserved for veterans of all conflicts, past and unfortunately still out there serving as we speak. But thank you for reminding me of that. Appreciate it. That's right. We have a new executive producer. We have a stage manager.
Yes,
He's
stage
the name of
manager. I'm the executive
Yeah,
producer.
you're the executive producer. You can fire us. He can't. He can just drown us out with the bell. So hopefully you all like the bell. I kind of like the bell being part of a wrestling themed show.
Absolutely. I like the bell, and I'm just glad I wasn't. There we go.
There you go. So,
It's the beep beep Richie button.
thank you, Thomas. We're gonna have to teach Chief though how to be a little more forceful. We're gonna have to
Get
get
hit you with it.
We need.
He's
No, I
learned
don't
from
want to be
Killer
hit with
Cross.
it. No. I don't want to be hit over the head with it. We'll have to get him like a little hammer, so it's a little more, because he's using a wooden little. See, under the real way that thing should be working, he should be pulling that tab.
Right.
That for what it's worth. Pulling the handle, which then should move the hammer head automatically to then hit the bell. That's the way that should be working.
Well, it looks like it's as old as I am, so.
Right.
Okay, don't anybody touch that line. Just leave it alone. Don't anybody go after it. Okay, just leave it alone out of
I
respect.
forgot it
But it's
already.
right
Are you,
there.
are you military, by the way?
Absolutely.
Which branch?
Navy.
Navy?
27 years.
How long?
27.
God bless you.
You know, I'm that too, right?
I know you are, but everybody knows you. Not everybody knows you.
Playing Battleship is not.
Oh, thank you. Or
I love
as,
you, Johnny.
who's the comedian? Right. I'm blanking on his name.
Stephen Wright?
Stephen Wright.
Stephen Wright.
He did a little routine where he says what he likes to do when he's alone in his house. He likes to sit in the bathtub, turn on the shower head, and pretend he's in a sub that got hit by a torpedo. Don't tell me you've ever done that.
Oh, no.
None that you'll admit openly.
Hot tub.
Hot tub. There you go.
With
Scarlett?
With Scarlett? Oh, never
Chief's
mind.
getting some love on the chat feed.
Yes, he
too.
is. Yes, he is. He's getting some. By the
Kevin's
way,
gonna kill you.
All right, 2, 3,
Justin
yeah,
likes the
plus.
bell, by the way. The bell adds a lot to the show.
Absolutely.
Oh, can we use that bell at BBW? You know what, Justin?
Right?
First of all, I wouldn't want to carry it because, yes, that thing is as old as Chief, and I don't know how old Chief is. but-
67.
How old?
67.
That's all? You're a young dude.
67.
You're young, man.
Sorry.
Right on. Man.
I hope I'm in that good a shape when I'm 67.
I was gonna say.
'cause I'm going downhill quick.
There's no way. I mean, you're terrific. Good for you. Do you do anything to
Oh,
stay healthy? I mean, do you work out at all? Watch your foods?
I walk a lot.
Do you? Good for you. See, you walk a lot. You don't have to do a lot of exercise. to be healthy.
So Thomas is asking who's excited for Against All Odds next week. We're gonna.
Oh, wait a minute. Didn't we talk about there's another card coming up that full gear.
Oh yeah, full AEW Full Gear is this Saturday.
Sorry.
Sorry, but no, but the FSW event will be covering some of the matches next week.
Right on. There you go. So obviously not a whole lot of people are excited until next week, Thomas, to answer your question.
Well, I am. I mean, the first 10 entrants in the Against All Odds Rumble were announced.
Okay. Who are they? Real quickly.
Sin Bodie's in it.
That's one.
I think Shogun Jones is in it.
Okay.
Leon Hader.
Is
Hader's in that?
Hader's?
I think I saw some.
Hader's back.
Here's number 9.
I thought Hader was retired.
Yeah. I guess his wife let him out to play.
Oh, well, good for Hader. Hopefully he's recovered from that cinder block injury.
Either that or he still is trying to recover and he entered this match. I mean, I don't know. What are the others? Yikes. All right, guys, we're about ready to wrap up. So we have a lot. We're going to have a lot to report on next week. I mean, all the local cards. We'll have BBW, FSW, of course, all the AEWs and WWE and more stuff. By the way, please use our Facebook page. Go out there and like it right now. Thoughts Count Anywhere. Subscribe to our YouTube channel as well. But please use our page if you have questions or topics that you want us to cover or questions about anything going on. One of us will jump on and we'll be happy to respond, start a conversation. And I hope you're liking the reports and the news links that we're all resharing to that page just to kind of keep you up in the loop in some of the hot stories that are going around. So, gentlemen, final thoughts.
I'll go first.
That's why I looked at you.
Absolutely.
That's why you're
Wanna
at the end of the
relive
table.
the past, because it's always the future. I'm going to Popeyes.
Oh, drop Mike. Give him a bell for that one. There you go. All right.
We'll call back to our first show ever.
There you go. Matthew.
Since the videos, like the audio's acting weird and stuff, all the audio is going to be uploaded in the next 24 hours on a way better quality. We're on show everything.
It's a short list of where we're not, probably. But you name it, we're there. And soon to be simulcast on Go Live Big. Johnny.
I've really got nothing today. Just what do you think of this new announce table setup?
You've got nothing?
I know, right?
That deserves a bell. Yeah.
We have this recorded just for
Yes.
proof.
Yes.
So, thank you. Who put this together with you?
My lovely wife and I.
I like
Seriously.
Rick and your wife?
We gotta get the logo here though.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's
the logo's being printed.
And then we have a banner on order
Yep.
that's going to be on our backdrop here, which you notice is now gray because we washed the sheet last night with all the Power Play Sport black T-shirts, so that white sheet is now gray.
It's better than pink socks.
That is
Eh?
true. That is true.
That's
All right.
Red Sox in.
Oh, gee. Okay, tomorrow night, Johnny and I, and who else is? We're going to be at a 3-man booth tomorrow night at Rancho High School.
Apparently with Jason Hughes.
Thank you. I couldn't think of his name.
Not Jay from Silent Dog.
No.
It'd be a way bigger crowd.
The real Jason Hughes.
So, okay, so we're going to be at a 3-man booth tomorrow night. By the way, Sunday, I'm also participating. I'm the guest ring announcer for Versus on Sunday. They're doing a fundraiser down in Henderson for the Boys and Girls Club of Henderson, and I have permission and approval to do that.
Nice.
I've covered all my bases, so I'll be down there if you're going to attend the Versus part. Is someone going to get through it? Oh, no one's coming through this because this is not balsa wood, Justin. This is like a half-inch.
Took two of us to
This is-
lift
this
it
is
on the
tight.
table.
This is mahogany. This is good English oak right here.
Anyway, yes, that's a good English show. Anyway, so a lot going on. Stay tuned on our Thoughts Count Anywhere page for the boys. For Chief, have a great week, everybody. From all of us here at Thoughts Count Anywhere.
Give that Orange Cassidy thumbs up.